Hello and welcome to Mock Productions. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are back with another Skylanders Imaginators news update. So this one is basically wrapping up what sort of information I found out in the last week or two. There's been a lot of speculations, a lot of rumours, a lot of everything sort of going round. A few screenshots on a lot of forums and communities, which are very, very interesting, to be honest, and I think brings up some very interesting questions. So as much as there's not really new characters to show, there are hints towards new characters, let's put it that way. So, first things first is this. Now, basically, this is, I don't know what sort of magazine it is. I understand it's a kids magazine. I don't know what actual one it is. Now, of course, it does say new Skylanders revealed. Now, that could either mean new Skylanders game revealed, or just new Skylanders in general. I think it would go with the first one, where it's just saying there's new Skylanders which have been revealed in terms of a game. However, what's interesting is Dr. Krankcase is next to it. Now, from my actual understanding of Dr. Krankcase, I don't believe when we first saw him he had two goo guns. Now, the reason I say that is because I believe he had a tank on his back and just one goo gun. Now, I could be completely wrong, but from me thinking of it now, I don't think there was a Krankcase with two guns. If that is correct, we're probably looking at a quick shot as Krankcase, which would be so cool. I mean, I think it'd be really cool to have Dr. Krankcase as a quick shot. I think it'd be really, really interesting, especially to have two goo guns. I hope if he is a character that he's got that spinning attack with his legs. That would be extremely awesome. So it's very interesting. It sort of ponders the question, is Dr. Krankcase actually confirmed? That is the question. What do you think? Would you like to see Dr. Krankcase actually appearing? Or would you like to see a completely different Tech Villian appear? Let me know in the comments below about that. I want to hear people's thoughts on what they believe about this. Next thing here, now basically these are screenshots which have been taken, and they're just sort of the game. When you sort of create your own different Imaginator, you can sort of see all these different locked items. Now, of course, it does say here, awarded by Air Imaginite. Now, for me, I think that's when you put an Imaginite sort of creation crystal on. However, there might actually be different elemental Imaginites to pick up in the little chests they give you. So that's definitely one to think about. Now, there is also a lot of speculation about other screenshots, which we will get to, that once you place on a specific thing, in this case, it could be an Air Imaginite creation crystal, you get these Birdman tail. I find it weird how it's called Birdman tail, but yet they look like wings. So that's rather interesting and definitely one to ponder. But of course, let me know your comments on this. Do you think it's putting an Air Imaginite creation crystal on, or they're going to have different specific Air Imaginite crystals in which you can find in-game? Because we know there's going to be different rarities of like epic and commons and all that sort of stuff. Whether they do different elemental ones is another thing. We'll have to see. Next, though, we have this, which is the Pharaoh's Pride. Now, this basically says, awarded by Golden Queen. So straight away, when you see this, you think, right, so if you get awards for putting Golden Queen on, that means that every single other Skylander should have something when they get unlocked. Now, of course, when I've seen any gameplay, you don't actually see them putting the character. I mean, you see them putting the character on, but evidently not for the first time, because I would think that this would have popped up to actually say you have unlocked the Pharaoh's Pride. Now, of course, I believe the Pharaoh's Pride is the actual hat of Golden Queen. We'll get to bits of that in a second, though, because it is very, very interesting. Now, this is also extremely interesting. We have awarded by Mysticat. Now, who the heck is Mysticat? That's the one thing. What we can sort of take away from this is that it's a mystical cat. Now, whether it's actually a Mew Mew cat, as in a house cat, is another thing. It could be a lion, it could be a tiger, it could be a panther. Who knows? I think one thing for sure is I believe, from my own understanding of it, it's probably going to be a magic Skylander. That's my own understanding. But of course, it says there in the tail section, King's Tail. So I wonder whether this cat is going to be a bit of a pharaoh cat, because obviously King's Tail, you sort of get that sort of king, sort of ancient Egyptian sort of theme. The tail looks monkey-like, to be honest, but then again, it could just be a house cat's tail, which would be definitely interesting. Now, we have got this as well, which it does say here, and this has been unlocked, the Chaos Sword. Now, a lot of people have been saying, oh yeah, they're going to make a Chaos figure, and that's what you're going to get. I'm not so sure. I don't think they're going to make a Chaos figure, but I'd like to hear other people's opinions. Do you think this definitely confirms that Chaos is going to be a figure, or otherwise? I don't think he's going to be a figure. I think that would eliminate the thing. He got trapped in a trap, then he came out. He had his own trophy. We didn't like do anything to him in Superchargers except battle him, win. I don't really see him being a figure form because I think that would eliminate it completely. But who knows? They might pull a Chaos figure on us. I don't know. But I don't think this is what you get. Maybe this is when you defeat Chaos, you get a Chaos Sword. Or maybe this comes into one of his creations which he makes. We'll have to find out. But this is something very interesting here. Awarded by Wild Storm. Now, straight away when I think of Wild Storm, I think of a storm which then leads me to air. So I believe this is going to be an Air Skylander or an Air Sensei. I love the name Wild Storm. I believe there was, this is going back a while, I believe there was a Robot Wars robot which was called Wild Storm. I could be wrong there, but that's definitely a pretty cool one there. Of course it says Wild Storm's armor, which is a bit of a mouthful, but then again, actually that is kind of funny, because you've got RM, RM, armor, RM, so everything has got RM in it. Now, I had a little look at the trailer, and a lot of people brought this up as well, that if you have a look at this guy, and you can tell this guy's a sensei because you can just see his belt, which gives a massive amount of weight, but also if you look, the arm guard is practically identical to that picture, which you can see there. Of course it's faded out, they're not going to show it, but if you look at it, the sort of top of the shadowed out picture is pointy, and on that it's pointy. So I'm pretty sure that this could be Wildstorm, and a lot of people have sort of thought, yeah, that's him, gotta be. There's nothing there really, I mean, okay, yes, you can see he's an air element, but there's nothing there that makes him look wild and stormy. But then again, we haven't seen his feet, so something wild might be going on down there, we don't know. But nevertheless, he does look extremely awesome. So, moving on from this, I wanted to show this. This is also being shown. It's very interesting what they've done here. You can see, if you can look at all of these and figure out which ones they are, then fair enough, but I'll go through them. The first one is Flynn, the second one is Jawbreaker, next one is Torch, and the next one is probably going to be Eyebrawl. But what's very interesting is that these are all faces. Now, I'm going to put a thing out here and say that if you put a Skylander on, you're going to get a specific part from them. And I think that's going to be perfect. I'd like to also see, possibly, that if you were to place a Skylander on, you get their weapon. I'm not saying for all of them, but maybe for some fan favourites you could possibly get like their weapon, or at least an attack which is linked to them. I think that'd be pretty cool. So of course you've got Flynn there. Now I don't think there's going to be a Flynn figure, but that might just be unlocked full on straight away. Jawbreaker, I mean that has to be Jawbreaker. I'm looking at him now. It just looks slightly different than Jawbreaker, but it mostly looks like Jawbreaker. Torch, I definitely say that looks like Torch with the fiery hair, and then of course you've got that eye there, which straight away yells Eyebrawl. So yeah, that's definitely something to think about. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on that. Do you think that when you put a Skylander on that's old or new, you will get parts? We already know that with these new ones, you're going to get parts. I'd like to see them when you put these, because that would give you something to possibly collect them then, where you actually unlock something. You know, you might get, I'm just looking quickly here, you might get the arm guards of Rubble Rouser, or you might get the goggles from Spy Rise, or the gloves or a belt from what's his name? I can't think what his name is. Boomjet's belt or boots, you know, anything like that. Who's that guy? Night Shift, there he is. The boxing gloves from Night Shift. Anything like that. I'm just going through all the figures I can see at the moment. Even stuff from Superchargers. That'd be really, really cool. We'll have to see. Definitely see what's going on there. So, also, I wanted to bring up this. Now, people have talked about this. Is the fact of the staff, really. A lot of people have sort of thought that it belongs to a villain. And I will show pictures comparing what it looks like compared to these two other people that I've sort of narrowed it down to. Because to me, when I see that, I sort of think of Double Trouble. So let me just show you this. This is a comparison shot. You can see the staff there. You can see Double Troubles, and you can also see Broccoli Guys. Now, a lot of people seem to think that our life villain is going to be Broccoli Guy, which, quite frankly, I would love. But if you look at the staff, it looks as if there are 4 claws wrapped around it. There are no thorns on that one, but if you go over to Double Trouble, the staff is very long, and it doesn't have that thickness, as well as it doesn't have that ruffly feather look. But I guess they could sort of remodel it just slightly. I mean, all the faces, they do have slight defects. You know, the Jawbreaker face, you can see it's modelled after Jawbreaker, but it's not bang on, because that one has eyebrows, and the one I'm looking at the moment, it doesn't. It doesn't have eyebrows. So it is definitely interesting to possibly think that that might be what you get from Broccoli Guy, that you actually get his weapon. Now, that could just be a random weapon which you've already unlocked, and there's nothing to think about it. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on that staff, because I think it'd be pretty interesting to see how people vote in terms of, is it Broccoli Guy, is it Double Trouble, or is it just a brand new weapon? Who knows? But it's very, very close to the two of them, you know. You've got that green orb and you've got the things wrapping around it. So, I'm not too sure. I'm definitely not too sure there. So moving on from that, we've also got this, which I find really interesting. This is basically the pause menu. Now, I don't have screenshots for each individual thing, but for this one, it says game completion. Now, but it's a star. Now, I don't understand what exactly. I mean, okay, I understand that it says game completion, fair enough, but then it's a star. It's like it's a Portal Master rank. I don't know whether at this specific screenshot they were scrolling through it and it hasn't quite caught up with what it was supposed to say, but game completion sort of sounds as if that is supposed to show the game completion. But it says 1. There's no percentage or anything like that, so does it mean you've got 1 star out of the 3 or something like that? Who knows? The other things are quite interesting as well, because if you look to the left, not the very left, but the middle left, it looks as if that could be some sort of an academy or something like that. Maybe that's the upgraded academy with sort of like a fire centre and some sort of village thing. That could be to go home, maybe. The thing to the right middle, looks as if it's going to show you your stars for that specific chapter. It sort of goes through them and says you've got the legendary chest, you haven't got the winged sapphire, blah 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 blah. The thing on the far right, got to be the settings, and then the thing on the left, I'm not too sure, maybe that takes you back to the very main menu. It just says Skylanders Imaginators, or maybe it hasn't been officially sort of shown what that is. It could be a home button to get to the very, very front of the game, but we'll have to see, obviously. But not bad to see the pause menu, because you sort of get a few hints and spoilers from there. You know, what is that middle left thing? Do you think it's the Academy? Let me know. Now, I wanted to show you this as well. This is a screenshot from one of the levels. So basically, you're looking at this, and it sort of looks undeadish. But the main thing I sort of want to look at is this over here. Now, of course, it's slightly blurry when you zoom it in, but hopefully people can just see, just by that lamppost, you should be able to make out what sort of character that is. It's Trigger Happy. Now, I wonder whether this map here is supposed to be a Trigger Happy level. Now, I think it'd be pretty cool to have Trigger Happy as a talking sort of character NPC. Obviously, we've already had Jetvac and Eruptor shown to be sort of talking NPCs and help you through the levels. I think it'd be pretty cool to have him doing a talking thing. It'd be pretty cool because he'd probably be laughing and his tongue would be flapping everywhere as it normally is. But it looks very undead sort of level, so I'm sort of confused by that, but I just find it interesting how Trigger Happy is on that board with some sort of dancing thing. I don't know what that is. It sort of looks like a shark, but it's dancing and something like that. But that is really, really strange. Like I said, a lot of random stuff here, but a lot of stuff to ponder on and sort of think about. But do you think Trigger Happy will be the character for this level, or could it be an undead character? If so, let me know which undead character you'd like to actually see. I think it'd be pretty cool to have Ghost Roaster. That's just my personal opinion. Knowing the game, though, it would probably go with Chop Chop. I think a lot of people are probably big fans of Chop Chop, I believe. But then again, you can you can let me know which sort of undead character you'd like to see. It could be Fright Rider for all I know. But yes, definitely. So yeah, there we go. So what do you think of everything? Like I said, we've had plenty of stuff to discuss in the comments, and so many people discuss stuff in the comments. It's so cool. It's so awesome to just continue the conversation outside of the video, because obviously I'm discussing everything, and then you guys go nuts in the comments, which I love, because we can just carry on talking and talking and talking. It's brilliant. So let me know your opinions and comments about the game. Are you liking what you're seeing so far on it? Do you think there should be anything else additional? I think a lot of people probably want PvP, but of course let me know in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts about the new Skylanders. Of course, the possibility of already knowing what Wildstorm is, that would be pretty cool if you guys actually agree with that. Or do you think it's going to be a different one? Let me know. Of course, you can also subscribe for more news. As soon as I get the news, I'll be doing it. I just wanted to make a post here because it's little itty bits, but it's sort of made up enough to warrant a news update. So that's what I'm doing right now. And of course, you can rate the videos. So I know you're excited for the game because it's getting closer and closer and closer every single week. It's getting even closer and closer. I've put my pre-order in. No Dark Edition pre-order at this moment in time. I'm waiting so much for Game. Of course, I live in the UK, so I have to wait for Game to announce the Dark Edition. Who knows, they might give it to someone else this year, but every single year it's Game. So I'm waiting for that to be announced because I'm going to just jump on that. My normal pre-order is done. Of course, it will be on the Wii U, so I cannot wait for that. So let me know, actually, let me know what console you pre-ordered yours on as well, because I'd like to see the sort of difference in what people are actually pre-ordering for. See which is sort of the best one. Maybe I can sort of bring that up in the next news update, that a majority of people are going to go with Xbox Ones. I don't know. But obviously let me know about that. So yeah, there we go. I shall leave it here. Nothing like major woohoo, but it's definitely something. And I like giving a little bit of something, a little bit of stuff to sort of think about, which is always really, really cool. So yes, there we go. I'll see you guys in the next news update / video on the channel. And yeah, from me, that's it. So thank you, and goodbye.